Hello everyone, I would like to welcome you at the International Conference of Social Sciences and Humanities. Today I'm going to make a presentation about the case study and effects of EMDR therapy on a client with a generalized anxiety disorder. So first of all, I would like to talk about what is EMDR. EMDR is the eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a psychotherapy treatment that was originally designed by Frances Shapiro, and she was aimed to elevate distress associated with the traumatic memories. So Shapiro's adaptive information processing model posits that EMDR therapy facilitates the accessing and processing of traumatic memories and other adverse life experiences in order to bring this to an adaptive resolution. It might sound complicated, but in the reality, what the therapist is doing in this kind of therapy is trying to release and desensitize their traumatic memories by using bilateral movements. Like you can see in these pictures, it can be using the fingers, and the client should follow them with their eyes, or if they feel like it's very disturbing experience for them, they cannot concentrate, or they have problems with their eyes, it can be also tapping on their lap, or it can be in a way of clients walking by himself or herself and processing memories in that kind of way. Now, what is generalized anxiety disorder? A generalized anxiety disorder is marked by excessive, exaggerated anxiety and worry about everyday life events. And these people are worrying for no obvious reasons. People with symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder tend to always expect disaster, and they cannot stop worrying about all kinds of issues about their health, money, family, work, school. And it's okay that people can worry. We all have some kind of worries, and everyone feels anxiety now and then. And there can be good reasons why we feel that, right? But in people with generalized anxiety disorder, the worry is often unrealistic and out of the proportion of the situation. Daily life for them becomes a real challenge. They're in a constant state of worry and fear and dread. And eventually, anxiety can even dominate a person's thinking so much that they find it hard to do routine things at work, at school, socially, and it can cause problems in their relationships. So there are treatments to ease the anxiety because it can literally ruin your life, and EMDR is one of the treatments that can be used. So this case was done with the refugee from Ukraine. As you probably all know, that Ukraine was invaded by Russia on that February 24th this year, 2022, and it's naturally that there are a lot of people who got affected by the war, especially those who lived in the occupied areas and in the areas of the military actions. So the case was with the young woman who lived with her family in a city in northern Ukraine until her hometown was stricken by Russian airstrikes. Then she had to flee her home and move to Turkey in search of safety. But before she could flee to Turkey, she had to endure 1.5 months of constant bombing and shelling of her hometown, and because of that she started to experience, and she had complaints such as feeling anxious, feeling insecure, having interrupted sleep and nightmares. She started constantly worry about her everyday life, And she had intrusive images of the situations that she had been involved in Ukraine during that period of her life. So EMDR therapy was applied to her dysfunctional beliefs. So let me say a few words about the measurements that were used in this study. The first one was the impact of event scale, which has 22 questions, and 5 of them they were added to the original impact of event scale in order to better capture the DSM-4 criteria for post-traumatic syndrome disorder. The second one was the state trait anxiety inventory. It's a self-report measure that provides measures of anxiety for adolescents and adults. It proved quite a reliable inventory. It has been used since 1983. And the scale also used to detect state anxiety changes before and after counseling, in this case before and after the EMDR therapy. The state trait anxiety inventory scale has 20 questions rated with the Likert scale, 10 of which are anxiety present, such as I feel nervous, and the other 10 being anxiety absent, such as I feel calm. And the weighted score ranges from 20 to 80, with the average normative score for working adults, men 35, and for women 32. It's a healthy score. These people means that they don't have any problem. And the last questionnaire that was used is Generalized Anxiety Disorder. It's a 9-item self-report questionnaire, and it is used to assess the generalized anxiety disorder symptoms. Again, it's a Likert type scale, and one of the yes/no items included whether the participants had been bothered by excessive worry for the past 3 months, and possible scores range from 0 to 12, with higher score representing greater generalized anxiety disorder symptom severity. So the client, she measured 43 on the impact event scale, which reflected a significant level of distress and impact on the daily functioning in relationship to the trauma. The client scored 71, which is very high. It indicates the severe anxiety condition on the trait anxiety, and 60 on moderate anxiety level. On the state anxiety dimension of state trait anxiety inventory, there was also quite a high result on the generalized anxiety disorder inventory. 5.7 points she got on this one, and it also been reported to indicate the presence of the generalized anxiety disorder symptoms. So the course of the treatment took 4 sessions, and each session of EMDR was consisting of assessment, desensitization, installation, body scan, and closure. I'm just going to give a brief example of one of the sessions in which we decided to work on a specific memory that was disturbing her. And this memory was connected to the period when she was in Ukraine, hiding in a bomb shelter with her parents. One night when they were there, someone just rushed in. It was one of the soldiers from Ukrainian side, but of course, because they were so stressed out and afraid, they couldn't realize it was not an enemy, but a Ukrainian soldier. So that memory was very traumatic to her. That's when she felt extremely excited and insecure. So this started with that memory, and we started to processing. We decided that the negative belief that she experienced at that time was that she wasn't good enough, she was insecure. She was just not feeling herself in the right place. And we wanted to decide what was the positive belief in this situation, and she wanted to feel like she was secure, that she wanted to feel that she was in a secure situation. And validity of the positive belief in the first case, when she think of the incidents and how true the words that she felt secure felt to her, of course at that time she felt extremely insecure, and on the scale from 1 that is totally false to 7 that is totally true, she gave the numbers from either 1 or 2, which means that she felt extremely insecure in that situation. And the emotions that she experienced at that time, they were fear, anxiety, panic, etc. And she said that she's feeling the same emotions, but they are less intense now. So the subjective unit of disturbance from the scale 0 to 10 was quite high. She said that she felt disturbed between 8 and 9. So once we started processing, she started to report specific sensations in the body. It started with the headache, and she felt like someone was squeezing her head. But as we continued with the bilateral movements, with few like 5 times, she started to report that that sensation was going down her hands and her wrists, meaning that just in a 5 sessions of bilateral movements, this negative feeling started to go away from her body. Because it was quite recent, the EMDR and her response to it was very fast, just like that. The brain responded with the release of this traumatic memory, and she started moving quite fast from that negative traumatic memory that she had. She moved to her memories that she had before the war, and they were quite pleasant ones. When she was going to the university, which places that she liked, she visited in the city, etc. So this is the example just of the one sessions. After we did all sessions, we completed them, we again made her answer the questions of those questionnaires, and you can see that the difference before and after, in all the cases, in all the questionnaires, the anxiety went down. And we can see that the difference between the initial and final subjective units of disturbance of the client during the desensitization stage also went significantly down, while the values of validity of positive belief went up, not down. It was the exactly opposite. So as we can see that after only 4 sessions of EMDR, the mood of the patient improved, not only her inventory scores, not only the questionnaire showed that there was an improvement, but also her anecdotal evidence said that her ruminations declined. She was ready to get a job and she became hopeful for the future. In this case, only a few sessions of EMDR, they led remarkable improvements on the generalized anxiety disorder. And indeed, as for the other trauma-related issues, EMDR therapy can be utilized on a generalized anxiety disorder and other traumatic or disturbing situations, and on other traumas as well. So if there are colleagues who working in a psychology field or in a psychotherapy field, I think they can use it. They can try to use EMDR as it shows very good results. I think I already exceeded my time. I thank you for the attention, and I hope it was useful and informative for all of you. Thanks again. See you. This is my references. Have a good time at the conference. Goodbye.